Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's episode, I will be sharing with you my personal reflections navigating this world of interviews, spirituality, and self-discovery. From moments of self-doubt during the interviews to the information overload that happens with speaking to people with psychic gifts, the highs and the lows so far. So whether you're a fellow podcaster, a spiritual seeker, or someone who's just curious about my story, there's something for everybody right here. So without any further ado, let's dive right in. So I'm in my daughter's room right here. This is where she spends her time, and it also looks like a nice cool background to sit and talk to you guys. So this journey so far has been crazy. It started in Feb when I just got this overwhelming feeling where I had to start a podcast. I've always wanted to do a podcast, but then halfway through I decided that this is enough. I'm just happy with my lifestyle vlogging thing on Instagram. But for some reason in Feb, it started there. I need to start a podcast. I started my podcast on the 4th of April 2024. So it was like 448, because that's the number, 4444, right? So I took this synchronicity into picture and I did this and I started it on that particular day. And since then, the journey has been so up and down, and I feel like the whole podcasting thing is like this spiritual growth curriculum that I'm on, customized to myself. And I know that in the process, you guys would also be feeling the same thing. If you've been following the episodes from 1 to until now, and I think this is like the 12th interview that I did, and I never even knew that I would be able to do even 2, because I didn't think anyone would say yes to my podcast, to be honest with you. But we are on the 12th episode, and it's a big milestone for me. Number 1, doubts during interviews. Now, during the interviews, a lot of the times I keep doubting them when they're channeling or saying something, which is, are they actually telling the truth or are they lying? And this thought often chokes me up, because I feel like I am highly responsible for the kind of people that I bring onto my platform, because I'm responsible for the information that I'm giving to you guys. And if I make a mistake, if I'm bringing someone wrong onto the podcast, then I feel like it's a big sin, it's a crime. And I have been so hard on myself, where I have been trying to improve my intuition. I've been trying to eat vegetarian. I've been trying to meditate a lot, do those things so that I will be able to understand if the energy is not right, so that I can put in the right kind of information, the truth in front of you, instead of just anybody on the podcast. But in the process, it started becoming so stressful for me that now I have realized that it's not going to be possible for me to only bring the truth in front of you, because I don't know what the truth is. I am still trying to find out what the truth is. So I've decided that I'm going to look at it from a reporter perspective, the same way Dolores Cannon does when she's doing past life regressions on her clients, right? She's just reporting what is coming up. But if it's right or wrong, if it's truth or false, that is your responsibility. Each and every one of you watching the podcast episodes, listening to the guests, you do not have to take everything as it being truth. Maybe a guest would come in where partially they do say what is right, and maybe there would be bits of it which may not resonate with your truth, and that is okay. You do not have to believe everything. You just have to take in that which resonates with your truth and then discard the rest. The second thing that has happened is me getting overwhelmed by psychic information. Now, I was someone who used to just listen to one meditation called the Morning Meditation by Joe Dispenza. Then I would do my journaling. Then I would do my normal workout, eat my meals. That's it. I don't get a lot of information. And even if I ask a doubt to universe or to God, saying, did actually Mother Mary have a virgin birth? What happens is, in the course of the next 1 week, 2 weeks, or a couple of months, the answers then comes to me. I would start getting resources pop up in front of me, and that's how I learned. But once I started getting more connections with the people with psychic gifts, I started asking them. Like, the moment a question pops up, I would send them a DM asking, hey, did Mother Mary have a virgin birth? And then they would send the answer to me. So it's like the information overload started getting too much for me. And then I also started giving my power away to them. Instead of me asking myself, should I send this email? Should I speak to this person? Should I bring this person on the podcast as a guest? I would just message them, hey, should I bring them? Should I not? And then I would ask them, what's going to happen with my future? Am I going to get married? And then they would give me overload information. They'd be like, no, you're actually going to die at so and so age, or this is what's going to happen. These are all the bad things that's going to happen. So it started putting me in so much distress. I started feeling like I started treating the people with psychic gifts as God. I started trying to please them, trying to make sure that they are okay. If they say something and it doesn't resonate with my truth, I get so scared. I'm like, oh my God, they're going to tap into me and understand that I don't trust them. They're going to tap into me and understand that it's lost, or they will stop talking to me, and then I won't know what's going to happen. And then if like the world comes to an end, I'm probably going to be the only person and I won't even have access to the information. So I started giving my power away, and I realized that this is not cool. This is the exact opposite of what this podcast is trying to do. What I'm trying to do is give the power back to you. Instead of depending on the banks to take care of your money, your doctors to take care of your health, your priest to tell you how to pray, you have everything within you to take care of yourself. You do not have to depend on any single person. So even if people with psychic gifts, channelers, things like that come on the podcast, you do not have to give your power away to them. This is just information that will expand your consciousness so that you will realize that all that these people do, the gifts and the abilities they have, are within yourself as well. The third thing that started happening is me struggling with reality. The moment I started dealing with, oh, there's going to be a new earth, there's going to be this beautiful earth where there's going to be different kinds of fruits, and the work is going to be different, the money exchange is going to be different, people are going to be different. I started looking down on my current reality. I'm like, oh, these people don't understand what I'm talking about. I hate my job. I need to quit my job so that I can quickly get into new earth. I need to stop eating non-veg and just eat vegan dishes, so that, or I need to pay so and so person so that they can open my third eye immediately and I can see what they are seeing. Like, I started getting really impatient. Can you imagine Buddha paying somebody for enlightenment? That's the exact opposite of enlightenment. What happened was I came across this video of this guy named Vishrant, who was the disciple of Osho. He's still alive, right? Vishrant is alive, and I watched a video of him talking about enlightenment, and that's the first time I understood what enlightenment is. He said that enlightenment is when you realize that all of these things that you know, which is who am I? I am Tanya. I have a name. I'm a Christian. I'm a supply chain analyst. I'm a single mother. The moment you realize that none of these attributes actually define who you are, that's when you get enlightened. So how can I do that? You know what I was praying for? I was praying for ego death. God, just give me an ego death. So because I wanted to fast track my enlightenment journey. Can you imagine what stupidity that is? If I want to fast track it, you know what's going to happen? The first thing, they could take my daughter away. Something can happen. My daughter could go away. So now me defining myself as a single mother will not be a title anymore, right? Let's say I lose my job. I'm not a supply chain analyst anymore. Let's say all of my accounts, social media accounts, get hacked. Then I'm not a content creator or a podcaster anymore. This is what ego death means. Do you really want to do that? So what would be a better way? A better way would be to live your human life experience in a spiritual manner, where every single thing, just me sitting here and doing this recording itself, I tap in to understand, am I saying the right thing? God, is this good? So it's about you co-creating your experience with God instead of God creating something else and you trying to think that you can create something else. So that's an integration that I understood was happening in the process. The fourth thing, defending my guest. I felt compelled to defend every single person that comes on my podcast. So let's say I bring a guest on my show and I show this video to my family or my friends. If they show a slight change in their expression where they feel like they're not believing it, I would immediately feel attacked, and I would immediately try to convince them that no, this is what it is. It's you are not thinking like that. Whatever you're thinking is wrong. You know, I get defensive about it. And then I realized that I don't even have to do that. I mean, all the guests who are coming on my podcast are people that I adore, that I love speaking to. But whatever they say, and I'm learning to detach myself from them. They are individuals. I am an individual. All the people who watch the podcast as well are individuals, different people with different soul journey. It is not my responsibility to convince anybody. You will get information that is required for your soul growth at the right time, at the right space. Everything would be aligned and perfect for you. I personally do not have to convince you to watch a certain guest. There are so many guests that I'm bringing, but if you end up choosing to watch a particular video, it's probably because there's a message for you customized to you in that video. And that's it. The fifth thing that started happening is where I started forgetting to enjoy this process of podcasting. I got this sudden mission where I'm like, I have to awaken the planet. I need to convince people. I need to expand the consciousness of people. It felt like this is my responsibility to do that again. I mean, can you imagine me trying to take up this whole burden on myself? And if someone does doesn't get convinced by what I'm trying to say, then I get sad for them. I feel like, oh my God, they are going to die in the old earth. They're going to suffer. They're going to struggle. Jesus, please help them. I mean, like, seriously, am I special? Would God love them more than I love them? So the same exact way where I'm getting these intuition or these signs, symbols, these different things, synchronicities happening in my life, that is God working on us. That is Jesus or your spirit guide working on you to awaken you. You do not have to think that you're extra special where you have to go and awaken someone else, right? The same way God is working on you, God is also working on your partner or your friend or whoever it is that is of concern to you, and they are also on a soul growth or a spiritual journey themselves. It's not your responsibility to wake them up or put them on the right path. They are being cared for, protected, and taken ultimate care for, because all of our Father is God. So there's nothing that you have to get stressed out about trying to tell people or convince people about anything, especially when it comes to the things that you grew up learning all your life in your religious text, right? In the Bible, there are so many things which I realized is false information. And when someone else who is very religious comes in front of me, I get so like, do you know what? This is what's happening. Even if they do not want to have the discussion with me, I would force them to listen to me, and then our relationship breaks down in the process. That's not the job. Our responsibility, or rather I realize that my responsibility is to do the work and then let my energy get people curious. So if things go wrong and everything happens, there's a certain energy that I would emit because of the work that I've done on myself. And when that energy resonates outside, that's when people would get attracted to it and they would want that same energy. But if you are someone who's religious or on the spiritual path, and then you're getting so angry and so mad at people because they are not thinking the same way that you're thinking, you've completely lost the plot. So that is something else that I've realized through too in the past few months. The best thing that's happened to me ever since I started podcasting is I get to ask questions. I'm very shy about asking questions when I meet people in real life. So I have always gone to these events where I see these great speakers and I'm like, oh my God, they're so amazing. But then I wouldn't never approach them and ask them questions. But the fact that I get to send them an invite and they come on my podcast and I get to ask as many questions as I want, 100,000 different questions that I want, and they get to answer it and we have a discussion. That's been like the most fulfilling part of this whole podcasting journey. It started off with me wanting to awaken the planet and like this sort of serious mission that I'm on, but it just ended up being something where I get excited about speaking to different guests every single weekend. So today, for example, I was speaking to Christy Drake. Yesterday I was speaking to Malcolm Nair, and Christy Drake today came and spoke about how Adam and Eve were two people who were sent on a mission to procreate on planet Earth by God, but they failed their mission because of a technology that was concealed in something pure, but it wasn't. This is new information. It gives me joy to know these kind of things. It's like new stories, right? Even if you don't believe in any of these things, you do not have to believe in any of these things, but it's just fascinating to hear these things, right? So it's beautiful. So these are amazing questions and amazing answers that you get, which would help you on your path as well. And that's the best part about podcasting, especially for someone like me who is a complete introvert. I get to ask questions. I get to speak to people. It feels like me going on a date every single weekend, and it fulfills my soul, my spirit. That's been the most fulfilling part. And I hope you guys get to feel and experience the same excitement that I feel when I'm speaking to these guests as well. I'm listening to Dolores Cannon's book called Jesus and the Essenes. I just finished The Convoluted Universe and it was fascinating. And apparently Jesus was in Essene, or not exactly in Essene, but Jesus spent some of his years in Qumran with the Essenes, where he was learning about these laws of the universe, law of manifestation, law of polarity, law of duality, all of these things. And I'm also reading the book called A Course in Miracles, where it's like I didn't even know what the course meant. How can someone teach miracles, right? right? I ordered it because Betty Godanio from my first episode, my second episode, said that that's a book. So I started reading it, and that book has been like, it fills my soul, you know, it answers every single question in my soul. And apparently that's a book that was channeled, and it is Yeshua speaking in the book, and he's talking about what our mind is and what our ego is, what our Holy Spirit is. And that book has been so fascinating. Why are you...
Just a question, where is my cable? Because you removed it and you kept it somewhere. Where's my cable?
So that was my sister. What is the Ark of the Covenant? How long did it take Noah to build the Ark? There's a story on the Tower of Babel, and that because of people's pride, he brought languages. And I think it means that at one point in time, all of us had telepathy and all of us were able to hear each other. But we were all trying to use that gift to do something terrible. And that is when probably God took away telepathy, and we had to start using our mouth to speak to each other. I think that's what it means, but I do not know, and I want to find out why. Then there's a question about why God killed those Egyptian firstborns. That wouldn't happen. There must be something else to it, right? And that's about Bible stuff. Then I've got, when did we even start eating animals? Why did this happen? Who is a prophet? Are all of these people who are channeling prophets? Why did Prophet Muhammad say that he is the last prophet to have come? What does that even mean? Why? Who is supposed to split the bills? This is like my number one question. I still don't know if you're supposed to split the bill or not, right? Because right now it seems like everybody is on a empowerment journey, and we are supposed to be doing things on our own and just focus on ourselves. So who's supposed to split the bill? I still do not know the answer to that. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of my podcasting journey. I hope my insights or experiences resonated with you, or probably sparked some thoughts of your own. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also share the podcast and the episodes with all of your friends and family. My goal is to be able to be the #1 spirituality podcast in the Middle East, and with your help and support, I know I'll be able to do that. Until next time, stay true to your path and keep exploring. Bye.